Hey there, CJ Masters. I'm going to help you out with homework 9.6, which is our statistics review. So, suppose that when fish were tagged, they were also measured. Here are the fish lengths in centimeters from two different random samples. So we have all these fish that were caught in sample A, and all these fish were caught in sample B. The first question just says rewrite each list in order from least to greatest. So I will do sample A for you. So we have 31, 32, 38, 42, 47, 51. Notice how I cross off. I'm not finding the mean or the median or the mode or anything right now. I'm just writing these in order. 51 again, 51 again, 58, 65, 68, and 75. Right? That way I see, okay, I made sure I got every single number. All right, so the number of observations, so we'll count them up, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 observations in sample A. What is the minimum or the lowest number? That's 31. What's the maximum or the highest number? That's 75. So the range is simply 75 minus 31, right? The maximum minus the minimum, and that equals 44. We'll then ask ourselves the mean. So what does that mean? We have to add them all up and divide by how many you have, right? So we should probably say, hey, this was the max minus the minimum. All right, so when I add them all up, I'll get a total of 609. And then I had 12 as observations, so I'll divide by 12. So my mean is 50.75. So on average, the fish from sample A were 50.75 centimeters long. The median, this is where I'll want to go ahead and find the middle. So I won't cross off numbers, I'll put little check marks. I'll say 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. I don't want to say 6, 6, so I'm left with 2. The good news is that it's the same number, so it's basically just like saying 51 plus 51 divided by 2, or like what number's in between 51? It's just 51. Okay, so the median is the middle. The mode is the one that occurs the most. Occurs the most, and that's easy in this case. It's 51. Occurs 3 times. No other number occurs more than that. The 5-number summary, so that's going to be talking about the minimum, the maximum, the quarter 1, the quarter 3, and the median. So the minimum and maximum are easy. The minimum, as we already stated, was 31. The maximum, as we already stated, was 75. Now for quarter 1, I'll go ahead and make sure that I can divide these into 2 equal chunks. So I have 12, so that means my chunk should be 6 and 6, right? So start here and we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's one chunk, and then this will be the other chunk, right? So for quarter 1, I'll make sure I find the middle of the 6 numbers, so 1, 2, and 1, 2. So it's in between 38 and 42. So quarter 1 is going to basically be equal to 38 plus 42 divided by 2, which is 40. Another way to think about that is just, what's halfway between 38 and 42, and obviously it's 40. So for quarter 3, I will go ahead and try and do the same thing. So I'll go back up to this data here and say, all right, I have 6 numbers, so I'll say 1, 2 on this side, 1, 2, all right, what's halfway between 58 and 65? And that one's a little bit more rigorous, so 58 plus 65 divided by 2 gives you 61.5. So we have 4 out of the 5-number summary that we want. We have the minimum, the maximum, the quarter 1 number, the quarter 3 number, and now we just need to include our median, which we already calculated at 51. So there are your 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The interquartile range is simple. It's just quarter 3 minus quarter 1, which you've already figured out, which was 61.5 minus 40 gives you 21.5. All right. Now on the back side, you're going to still use this information. So for sample plot A, you're going to continue to fill in this scale that they have for you all the way up until your maximum, which in this case was 75. So fill it all the way up to there. And now we're going to create a box plot. So the minimum, if you recall, was 31. That was right here. So you put a dot at 31. and the maximum was 75, so put a dot at 75. Quarter 1 you figured out to be exactly 40, so you'll put a line at 40. Quarter 3 you figured out to be at 61.5, so just past 61 or 60 there. And the median you figured out to be 51, so just past 50, right? So you have your 3 lines. Go ahead and connect your box, and then stretch out your arms, and there is your box plot. So you'll be doing the same thing for B. I highly suggest going ahead and filling in the same scale right here, right now. I will tell you exactly why we do that, because you'll also be creating a box plot for B, and it probably will look a little bit different. So the question number 2 asks, why is it important to use the same scale when comparing data? This way we can compare the 5 number summaries accurately. All right, so that 5 number summary of the minimum, the maximum, quarter 1, quarter 3, and the median, we can compare those when you do the same thing for sample B and draw its box plot. So what percent of the data is included in the IQR? Well, let's think about this. The IQR is quarter 3, the top 25% minus quarter 1, or the bottom 25%. So think about that. That's 25% and 25%. Oh, it's going to be 50%. So 50% of the data is in between quarter 1 and quarter 3, right? Quarter 1, you can imagine that being quarter 2, this being quarter 3, and that being quarter 4. So this comprises of quarter 2, quarter 3. That's 50% of the data. Calculate the IQR for sample A. You've actually already done this on the front side, so you can go ahead and flip over and look at that again. Calculate the IQR for sample B. You'll also do that on the front side when you do sample B. I'm not going to give away sample or number 6, because you have to solve for sample B to figure out what the box plot and interquartile range tell us about the fish lengths and the length. So you're going to get totally different numbers between sample A and sample B, and you want to kind of give me some kind of analysis as to why that is, right? So number 5, I'll do this left box over here. Remember, it's our good old number fluency. What's fraction is 0.5? Hopefully you've memorized that by now. It's 1/2. If you forgot, hey, that's 5/10, which is the same thing as 1/2. And what's that as a percent? Once twice to the right, that's 50%. 1/3, hopefully again you remembered, is just 0.33 repeated. Twice to the right would be 33.3%. 6 2/3, hopefully you should realize that this is basically saying 66.6% repeated, because the 2/3 is the 0.6. So this is, as a decimal, is 0.666 repeated, right? Take that decimal place, move it 2 times to the left. And then as a fraction, hopefully this is something, again, you've just memorized. If I got the 0.666 repeated, it's 2/3, right? So you're going to want to do this one, fraction of 1/8, the percentage of 30%, and the decimal of 70%. I really kind of gave you some easy ones there. Take a look at your reference sheet. You should be able to figure those out. Call me if you have any questions.